Hey guys, welcome to the Acne Clear Chef. My name is Thomas Grabowski, and today I wanted to share my story with you guys. As you guys can tell, you may have watched my YouTube videos where I show you how you can clear up your skin using healthy recipes. And the reason why I do what I do is because I know what it's like to have severe cystic acne, to have acne, and to know how it can really negatively affect your self-esteem, your confidence, and how you look and feel about yourself. So I've kind of created this YouTube channel to show people how they can clear up their skin with real whole food recipes. So it wasn't until I was about 2021 where I realized, with a bit of research, and by a little bit I mean obsessively researching, to discover really where and why I was getting acne. I was simply not getting the answers that I was hoping for, and I really wanted to see what the root cause of all my skin issues were coming from. After all, I was on minocycline, tetracycline, and even on the dreaded Accutane, with one of the worst drugs I've ever taken in my life, that left me severely scarred and aggravated my acne like no other drug that I've ever taken in my life, as well as left me discolored and also left me scarred in the face. And it's kind of hard for me to talk about that because it really negatively affected how I viewed myself and how I carried myself in the world. I was actually fortunate enough to stumble upon a book called How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy by Paul Chek. Now, this book was ground-changing at the time. Now, you see, when I was around 18 to 19 years old, I was really heavily invested in bodybuilding. I wanted to achieve my goals of achieving 200 pounds of solid muscle, and I thought, if I just achieved that weight and I got to that destination, then I would be happy, then I would be confident, then I could truly be who I meant to be. Unfortunately, my obsession with bodybuilding led me to be obsessed with the gym, obsessed with eating, obsessed with counting calories, and my whole entire world just revolved around eating, sleeping, and going to the gym. I am sure there are many of you who are watching this may relate to this story. So what I had to do is let go of my identity as a bodybuilder and starting to learn to love and accept myself just the way I was. You see, a lot of the time we set goals for ourselves, which is great, but sometimes we put our happiness and our well-being in the future rather than learning to be who we're meant to be right here, right now, no matter how we look or how we weigh. So the same amount of effort I put into building muscle, I started to apply it to myself. Instead of applying it to build muscle, I was applying it to heal my skin. Because even after all the minocycline, the tetracycline, and the Accutane that I took, my skin was still breaking out. Obviously, there was something going on a deep physiological level that I knew needed to be addressed, but I didn't quite know where to look. So this is where How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy came in, and it became a really groundbreaking approach towards healing my skin. Now, How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy is not just about clearing your acne, but it's about building health within. And there are 6 foundational principles in this book about learning how to take care of yourself, from sleep, nutrition, exercise, and many other factors as well. So learning about these foundational principles helped shift my mindset from trying to look a certain way to trying to be a certain way. So instead of looking a certain physique, I was now shifting my mindset into being a healthy person. So my approach towards health and wellness really shifted when I let go of that bodybuilder identity and started to learn to embrace who I truly was and to embrace these natural ways of being that helped me become a better person. So I obviously started with managing my stress, learning about nutrition, and as I was learning about this book, I realized there was a few issues. Number one, the book suggested that I don't eat gluten or dairy products. Now, if any of you guys are in the bodybuilding community, you understand that, wraps and breads and pastas, as well as protein shakes and milk and dairy are a staple of building muscle. So learning about that kind of threw me for a loop because it pretty much showed me that I couldn't eat a lot of the foods I was already currently eating. It's quite a dramatic shift when you have to go from eating your regular daily lifestyle normally, not even batting an eye at what you eat, to completely overhauling every single food that you're putting in your body. It can be quite a shock. It can be a little bit discouraging. And unfortunately, it can kind of lead to a bit of, depression and sadness. I wouldn't say depression. It would definitely lead to a little bit of overwhelm and confusion into what I am supposed to eat. So as I trusted the process and learned more about the book, as well as assessing my health through the questionnaires, I started to figure out which parts of my health needed more to be addressed more specifically. So obviously, starting with the nutrition bit, I started to cut out gluten and dairy out of my diet. On top of that, I also went to a naturopathic doctor to assess any nutritional sensitivities, since there are specific foods that can potentially be detrimental to you that you may not even be aware of. So by assessing my nutritional sensitivities to specific foods, I could pinpoint certain foods that could potentially be causing me breakouts and potentially be causing me skin irritation and or digestive issues as well. So I got a blood test done with my naturopathic doctor, Dr. Richard Vuksinic, which I highly recommend if anyone wants to see a naturopath. And he essentially took a blood work from me and sent it to Alberta, and I came back with my results. Again, I didn't expect this, but another food that I was sensitive to was also eggs. So not only can I not eat gluten, I cannot eat dairy, but I can't eat eggs. And as we know, eggs are a superfood and is very nutritionally good for you. However, if you have leaky gut syndrome or you have an intolerance or sensitivity to eggs, then that can be a problem. So essentially, it was a problem, and I had to cut it out completely. This was around the time of 2013 where I started to eliminate gluten, dairy, eggs out of my diet. As well as my own research into Accutane and the drugs, I learned a lot about genetically modified foods, and I decided to cut out corn and soy out of my diet as well. So I was cutting out a lot of foods from what I was supposed to be eating, but then it left me with the question of, what do I eat? Now, this may be a question that you may be asking yourself, what do I eat now since I had to eliminate all these foods so I can have clear looking skin? So again, I did more research, and thankfully How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy taught me about metabolic typing, as well as different food groups that I could introduce and add into my diet. Thankfully, there were a lot of options that I could choose from, and those options actually helped me begin what was going to be called soon in the future called the Acne Clear Chef. These foods, I would pick from these food groups, and essentially I would create recipes out of them. Not only did I create recipes out of them, but I've noticed that once I started to cut out the gluten, the dairy, the egg, corn, and soy, and reintroduce these nutrient-dense foods that weren't going to cause me harm, as well as choosing high-quality organic variations whenever possible, most of the time now, made significant changes in my health. And this is where the Acne Clear Chef was born. I made this realization that the foods that I was eating and the foods that I was eliminating started to contribute to my health and well-being. I started to feel happier, I had more energy, my digestion was regular, I actually started to put on muscle quicker, and my mental clarity cleared up. I felt more grounded, I felt more calm, and I could see things a lot more clear than I could before. So this realization made me realize, oh my God, there is something here. Changing what I eat can lead to good acne clear skin. And not only that, but you can also receive the health benefits of having clear skin, having more energy, feeling good about yourself, and being happy again. If these are things that interest you, then I'd highly recommend you not only follow my YouTube channel, but also check out Paul Chek's work, How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy, and learn more about it yourself.